Hi guys, welcome to today's week markets forex markets review. Today I'll be sharing with you my thoughts on the forex and commodity market. We're going to be reviewing how the market has performed the previous week. Look at what the market is going to do, what we're anticipating in the coming week, give an outlook of what to expect in the coming week. And I will also be sharing one or two of my trade setup for trade plan for the coming week. As it is my approach to looking at the market, I love to look at the broad view of the markets, look at the indices from a bigger picture, then go down to individual currency pairs and pick up one or two stock pairs I'm actually looking at. Before I dive into our our review outlook and trade plan for the week, I would want you to subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to this channel in order to get more video updates on my analysis, my thoughts about the market. I'll be sharing more thoughts, analysis about the market. I'll also be sharing some trading strategies I actually implement in my trading activities. So be sure to get more value following this channel. So that being said, let's quickly dive into with the few minutes we have. This is going to be like 15 minutes review of the markets, give you a broader view. So first off, let's look at the dollar index. We've been tracking the dollar index for a while, and some few weeks back, in my analysis some 2 weeks ago, we anticipated that the dollar index should start a decline, should start a decline phase. So we should be seeing distribution in the dollar index. And obviously, we're seeing that. From a technical standpoint, let me just give you a thought of. So this is actually the pattern we're seeing. We saw an uptrend in the dollar. So we now get to a point where we have what they call a consolidation phase, a distribution phase, and a breakout in the structure. So a breakout in the support in the consolidation structure, and then so the consolidation is regarded. I regard it as what I call it the balancing phase, and the law is that market tends to change direction at the balancing phase, immediately after the balancing phase or at the climax. So we experienced some form of climax at this point. So we saw the line index when trading the balancing or a range, and we saw a breakout in the balancing, and now went back to test the support to now serve as resistance. Thereabout, we now saw a down trend. So this shows that the dollar index is really heading south. So, and in the week that just ended, we saw a sharp downtrend in the dollar after that found support. So this is what I'm trying to point out to also. So now we saw an uptrend, and we saw a balance, a breakout in the structure, a retest the test of the structure. That's this like a throwback to test the support, now serving as resistance, a breakout, and I had some form of intermediate support zones which I actually identify. Now we could see that the intermediate support zones, we saw a breakout in intermediate support zones on Friday. So this shows that the dollar is poised for a further downtrend. So this is more like this is actually a distribution phase. This is an early a distribution phase. So you may say early or mid distribution phase in the dollar index. So that being said around the dollar, that being said about the dollar, let's take a look at there's another thing I actually also look at when analyzing the markets. I want to look at the relationship between the dollar and the US 10-year yield. So it tends to have a positive relationship, positive correlation. So that also in the week had a decline. Also, the 10-year yield had a drop. So when you see the 10-year yield decline, the dollar also declines. So which means that investors are now tending towards a risky asset. So, which is where we have the equity market and the likes. That's why we could see that in the week just ended, the S&P 500 has appreciated for 3 consecutive weeks. So, investors are moving to more riskier assets towards the end of this year. So, and that is actually why we're seeing dollar, which served as a safe haven instrument asset for investors, shedding its value, investors going into equities. And if that happens, now that has happened, let's take a look at some individual currency pairs. So the first point of call, I love to look at the Euro USD. This is an interesting pattern. So from a broader view, we had a downtrend. We had a sharp downtrend. So okay, good. Okay, let me just okay, auto feeds. Okay, we had a sharp downtrend, sharp decline. For a while, we had a sharp decline. So we had a reversal, a bit of a reversal, back and higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So in the week just ended, we were tracking this resistance zone to act as support. So we saw on Monday, basically, the first trading day in last week, the price bounced off from this zone, and we now see it. We had actually identified it's a resistance zone, and we saw a bit of a breakout above that on Friday. So this also gives us a directional conviction that the dollar is heading south. The Euro USD may likely be approaching the 1.100 psychological level. So that's another interesting pair. So let's take a look at the second most traded, popular in pair. So the British pounds also. Same formation as we've seen in the dollar. So the British pounds also on a daily time frame also. After a sharp downtrend, we've been seeing an higher high and higher low. So this indicates that, and we saw a breach on Friday above this level. Interestingly, let me just pick out some form of an interesting pattern on British pounds. Okay, let me just so some 2 days back when the British pounds closed above, the first signal he gave was when it closed above the symmetric triangle some few weeks ago, precisely 2 weeks ago. It broke through a symmetric triangle. Okay, so yeah, so it broke through a symmetric triangle, and the breakout saw an early accumulation or buying pressure for the British pounds. So I anticipated a stronger British pound against the dollar, and we saw a pullback when we saw an AMA some few weeks back. I actually did a video on that on my channel, so feel free to watch that review. And trended back to test this downward sloping trend line, now acted as a buy zone for British pounds, and since then we've seen a resumption in the uptrend, a breakout in the identified support and resistance zone for the British pound. So okay, let's take a look at another interesting pair, the USD Canadian dollar. This has been trading, finding support at the upward sloping trend line. So for a week, we've been seeing this, and we've seen an interesting pattern trying to emerge. So in that, so it has been trading within the upward channel trend line. So it's a pattern like this. So we've seen the channel trend line, and it's been trading within the channel trend line until there's a breakout towards channel to signify an uptrend, or a breakdown to signify a change in trend. So we wait to see how this also perform in the coming trading days. Let's take a look at the Brent crude. So we saw an interesting pattern in the Brent crude. Also, we identified an upward sloping trend line, the breakout in the trend line, a retest of the support zones, now resistance back to some key levels. So let's try to identify the key levels. So this is another interesting level. So this is a strong support resistance now acting as support. So it's actually a significant support zone to look at. This is a support zone, this is support zone, this is support zone. Support zone was broken, became resistant. Now price came to retest it, and interestingly, you had some form of candle pattern from this is actually an inside the bar. So you have an engulf pattern, but this is an inside the bar. So this is an idea or a sign of a possible reversal. The weekly time frame in the Brent crude showed that we are more like an indecision or a doji pattern formation. So more like in this doji. This is more like as a small body. So we would say spinning bottom, but she's actually within the trend, not at the top and not at the bottom of the trend, but within the trend. So this is an interesting formation in the week for this. So having looked at the market, so let's take a look at, okay, finally, before I go into what I expect the market to do in the coming week, let's look at gold. Gold has seen some form of beats in the last 5 trading days. So we've seen some form of a buying interest in gold in the last 5 trading days after it had come to test the Fibonacci retracement zone. So this is actually Fibonacci retracement zone of about 30 to 38.2 Fibonacci retracement zone. So I was actually expecting this, which also coincides with some key resistant zones as well. So there was some key resistance zone as well at this level. So we saw some form of buying interest in gold so as well. So this signified an interesting pattern also in gold back to a resistance level, now acting as the support breached support level, now acting as resistance. So and in the last trading day, we had a doji. So that being said, I've reviewed how the market had performed in the previous week from a technical standpoint. Let me just give you a summary of that, then we give an outlook and I give you what to expect. So the dollar heading south, and it has a positive correlation with the 10-year yield. The stock market enjoying the benefit of investors having a risk appetite. So the SPX, the equity space, is actually gaining momentum, possibly trying to end the year on a strong note. And so the EURUSD expected also on heading north, so it's gaining momentum. The British pound's gaining momentum. Every other currency pairs, most of the major currency pairs traded against the dollar are gaining momentum. So are increasing the value to the dollar. So now that's done. What is my outlook for the week? My expectation is that obviously the EURUSD should continue its upside rally towards the 1.100 psychological level. So I expect a further appreciation in the EURUSD to the 1.110 psychological level. So this is actually my first point of call. So are we to see this to happen? So further appreciation in the EURUSD is expected. The bullish momentum is expected to continue. Another interesting pair I'll be looking at this week is the British pounds. I noticed one interesting pattern while looking at the British pounds some few days back. So exponential. I noticed the British pounds found support at the exponential moving average, 100 exponential moving average. So my expectation is to see the British pounds valid because this is more okay. This is the beginning. Okay, good. Okay, let me just okay, good. So instead start it up. If taking it up, I'm just taking it a bit. Okay, I'm just taking it a bit so that it's more visible at this point. So, interestingly, on Thursday and Friday trading session, the British pound found support at the 100 EMA. So, signifying a resumption, a start, or more like a directional conviction to the upside for the British pound USD. So, I'll be sharing this. So, I'll be looking at the British pounds. I'm looking at the Euro USD for a buy. So on the downside, if the market tends to go back below this support zone or this resistance expected to be support, if the market tends to go back below and closes below in the coming days, most especially I'll be looking at this level as an important zone for me. So a breakdown below that zone tells me that I'll probably be looking more at a downside on intermediate levels. So while on the Euro USD, I expect the momentum to continue. For the upside as well as that. So we look at the market as it unfolds on a daily basis. I'll be sharing my market, my precise entry price and exit. Just I'll be sharing a link with you, my the WhatsApp link for you to join the group in order to get my real-time trade alert. I'll be sharing my exact entry and exit for all these two currency pairs I'll be looking at in the week. So I'll also be having a close eye on the USD Canadian dollar. I'm trying to see whether there's going to be a breakout in any of the trend zones, or there's going to be a support found at the upward sloping trend line. So where we're going to see some form of demand. If it happens, good. If not, if there's a breakout below, it tells me that we'll be heading more south in that currency pair. I think we've reviewed the market. I've given an outlook of what I'm expecting, and I've also shown you my plan for the week. So you can subscribe to this channel. Look at the description below. I'll be giving you the link to the group. So feel free to join the group. I'll be sharing my market thoughts, market analysis, and I'll be sharing one or two market insights on some educational materials on some of the strategies I use to trade the market. So thank you. So I would like to open up for question and answer. I think I have 1-2 persons online. So if there are any questions, please feel free to ask. So I'll be ready to answer.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening.
Join my listing.
Okay.
We couldn't greet, so I said, "Let me greet my pop."
Good evening.
How was the weekend?
It was good. It was splendid. And yours?
Very well. Fine.
Okay, great.
Very well.
Splendid.
Thank you.
Okay. So, any thoughts? Any question? Anything?
No. For now, I have no any question for now. So I've been going through a lot of those books that you gave me, and I read and 5 points as you said to enter market.
Okay.
Later today.
Okay, good. No problem. I think I'll be sharing with members on this channel on the 1, 2, 3 simple 5 point strategy I use for the market. So later in the week, I'll be making a video on this channel that I'll be sharing with you how to use pivot point to trade the market effectively and profitably. And I think you can testify that we have actually used pivot point in the week and you've seen the results from
Exactly.
the trade channel. So it has been good so far. And that's the way I've been using pivot point for the past 7 years, more than 7 years. Yeah. For the past, for more than 7 years, and it has been effective. Market tends to react around the pivot point levels. Though, like, there is no strategy that is 100% foolproof, but we've been able to get significant results. We have an edge with the strategy. So I think I'll be doing a video around pivot point that you can actually watch on what I look at, how I draw pivot point, what I look at when I want to pick when I want to pick my entry using pivot point, entry and exit. We saw in the trading group that all strategies are given, most of the strategies are given with the pivot point system, and they are more than, they're about 70 to 80% accurate. So I think it's a good thing to be. So I'll be sharing this video on YouTube, so you'll be able to rewatch this video again, understand the way I look at the market, understand the way I view the market, and with that, we'll be able to learn more. Thank you very much. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice night.
All right. Thank you, sir.